Hey, welcome to World Entertainment, and Star Trek Starfleet Academy is here, but we're forgetting about one other thing that's still to come, Strange New Worlds. And of course, Season 4 of Strange New Worlds is set to come, I think, by the end of this year or next year. But then, of course, Season 5 and its final season will drop as well, because they filmed the two of them back to back. And we now know that by the end of the show, we will be introduced to McCoy and Sulu, which are supposed to be in the last episode of the final season of Strange New Worlds. And of course, Thomas Jane has been cast as Bones, which is so weird that they went with an actor like him to play a character for one episode. And obviously, I said this in the previous video when they got announced, was that, hey, is this just a ploy to try and convince Skydance to give them the green light to do that Star Trek Year 1 show? Of course it is. Will they get it? Hell no, they won't. Especially after the disaster that's just launched with Starfleet Academy, with them putting it onto YouTube for free, and it tanked. Absolutely tanked. But Thomas Jane has been described as perfect as Bones in this. So we're going to have a look at this. By the way, this is funny because this is coming from one of the executive producers. This executive producer has also talked about, which I might make a video on, the fact that they could have up to 4 seasons of Starfleet Academy, because there could always be new cadets and stuff, and I can't help but piss myself laughing hearing that going. You've only got 2 seasons that were commissioned back to back thanks to Alex Kurtzman. If you think you're getting the 3rd and 4th, you are living in La La Land. You guys are done. And if David Ellison has any sense, not just does he let Kurtzman's contract run out, even though he should probably fire him, but let that run out this year, I think he would be insane to even allow the 2nd season of Starfleet Academy to come out. But let's have a look at this, what they're saying about Thomas Jane as perfect casting for Bones. So it's saying Star Trek executive producer praises Thomas Jane as perfect casting to play Dr. Bones McCoy at the end of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Kurtzman directed the series premiere of Star Trek Starfleet Academy, their newest Star Trek abomination. Oh, sorry, it says series, not that just premiered on Paramount Plus and is certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, because that's what makes it famous and brilliant, isn't it? Rotten Tomatoes gave it a fresh, except the fact that the fans absolutely despise it. Yeah, you notice they're not putting that part in there. They're just like, it's certified fresh. Do you know what it is? It's 86% with 42 reviews from critics, while it's got over 250 plus reviews from fans, and it's actually gone from 35 up to 42%. How it's even gone up, don't know. Wouldn't be surprised if Rotten Tomatoes is removing reviews. But it's a disaster. You also notice they don't say it's so fresh and so brilliant and so new that it absolutely couldn't even make 2,000 people watch it live on YouTube for free. But this continues. Star Trek Strange New Worlds wrapped production on its 5th and final season just before Christmas. At the same time, CBS Studios and Paramount Plus announced Thomas Jane will play Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy in Star Trek Strange New Worlds series final, along with Kai Muramaki, or however the hell you pronounce his name, as Hikaru Sulu. Screen Rant's Liam Crowley interviewed Alex Kurtzman and his fellow co-showrunner Noga Lando at Star Trek Starfleet Academy's junket. Kurtzman elaborated on what an extraordinary gift Star Trek Strange New Worlds has been, and spoke about why Thomas Jane is totally right as Bones McCoy. Read his quotes below, which we're going to do. So, Crowley said, Strange New Worlds wrapped production on Season 5 just before Christmas. And big news right before Christmas, Thomas Jane getting involved as Bones McCoy. Stop just calling him Bones McCoy. He's Bones, or else call him McCoy. because he's not Bones McCoy, he's Leonard McCoy. Bones is the nickname. This idiot continued anyway, saying, I'd love to talk about getting him involved in the Star Trek world, what his casting meant, and also just how it feels that Strange New Worlds is coming to a close. I also like that he forgets to mention, how come you only cast him for one episode? But Kurtzman says, Strange New Worlds was just such an extraordinary gift. When we introduced number 1 and Spock and Pike on Discovery, the idea was, well, there could be a show here because obviously there's a whole run of stories before Kirk takes the Enterprise. But I think the casting was so perfect and the fans' reaction to the characters was so profound that to be able to then turn that into a 5-season show was amazing. Just before I continue with his answer here, he's talking absolute dog shit here. No, the fans didn't respond going, I love every one of these, this is so perfect, and that's why you got 5 seasons. You just kept giving yourself 5 seasons. You announced season 2 before season 1 had even filmed. You announced season 3 before season 2 even aired, and then before season 3 even aired, you announced season 4 and 5. This again isn't that thing of they were getting renewed constantly because they were so fantastic. This was Kurtzman taking, you could make different shows if you want, you've X amount, and he just kept giving it to these projects. Hence why we have no legacy. So he's talking bollocks here when he's saying, oh, that's how it all came about. But he continued anyway. And I think Akiva and Henry and all the writers, everybody, all the directors did such a beautiful job harnessing the spirit of OG Trek. Are you shitting me? Musical episode. I'll just say musical episode. But also updating it in a way that was really unique and special. Stop talking bollocks, Kurtzman. I hate you. And Thomas Jane's just perfect. It's always really daunting to recast those roles because they're so iconic. But I think doing the films taught us that it can be done as long as you find an actor who really embodies the spirit of the character and the kind of gruffness and grumbliness and intelligence of Bones. Thomas Jane just felt totally right. Clearly, he hasn't a clue about any of these characters, so he's talking again just pure bollocks. But Crowley then asked, I don't know if it was you specifically or Paul Wisely mentioning it, who plays Kirk by the way in Strange New Worlds, trying to put some good juju out there of a spin-off centered around him. Is there any update on that front? That's them talking about the year 1. And Kurtzman said, we'll see, i.e. no. So with Star Trek Strange New Worlds series production now over, hopes turn to the spin-off dubbed Star Trek Year 1 that Akiva Goldsman and Henry Alonso Myers talked about last year. Star Trek Year 1 would be about the first year of Paul Wisely's Captain James T. Kirk in command of the Starship Enterprise. And holy hell, if they actually do this, then I'm ending things. In Minecraft, of course. Like, just go the fuck away. Seriously. By the way, I'm looking at an image here. I'm actually going to put it up. And I don't know what season this is from. But look at Spock over on the far right of the image. What the hell is going on with the hair? What is that? Why is there... what is going on? My God, this shit can't end quickly enough. And in this whole image, there's only 4 characters who are original series characters. You have Scotty, you have Uhura, you have Nurse Chapel, and you have Spock. My God, none of this looks, feels, and embodies Star Trek whatsoever. Anson Mount was a good Pike, but my God, what's the point in having a steak if everything else around it is piles of shit? There's no point in that. Everybody else was totally wrong. The guy playing Scotty is terrible. Umbega, the Black Doctor, he's good. He's actually the only actual good character in Strange New World. The girl playing Nurse Chapel, completely miscast. Everyone else is horrible. Uhura, terrible. Spock, he plays him like a robot. I don't understand. Everything about Strange New Worlds is god-awful dog shit trash that pisses all over the legacy. Them thinking they're going to get a year one is a joke. It's actually a laughable joke, especially with Paramount now being able to look at just what the premiere numbers were on YouTube for Starfleet Academy. That's a channel that has over 1 point something million subscribers, and they could only get a total consecutive viewing number of 1,300. That is insane for a channel with over 1 million subscribers. And you're trying to convince those people to then pay for Paramount Plus to watch the rest of that show. Yeah, good luck and thanks. And the fact that is response to the, hey, will we see this spin-off? The fact that Kurtzman simply says, we'll see, rather than, we've got big plans and stuff, that tells you everything you need to know. He's on his way out the door. Bye-bye. Don't let it hit you where the good Lord split you. Get the fuck away from this franchise, you unbelievable big pile of monkey shit hack. Go away, Kurtzman, and take this abomination shit you've been peddling as Star Trek for the past however many years it is, almost a decade. Take it with you. We don't want it. So guys, with that, what do you think of Thomas Jane cast as Leonard Bones McCoy for one episode of Strange New Worlds, which will be the very last episode of Strange New Worlds, which we probably won't see until the end of 2027, maybe earliest 2028. Do let me know. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like, share, subscribe, and hit the hype button, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.